Dames en heren, van harte welkom hier in de IJsselhallen in Zwolle. Het is tijd voor de 7e editie van de Dutch Darts Masters en we beginnen met een wedstrijd tussen Engeland en Duitsland. Als eerste een hartelijk welkom voor de man uit Duitsland. Hij maakt zijn debuut op de Dutch Darts Masters, maar speelt wel al zijn 7e Euro-tour toernooi. Zijn eerste sinds 2015. Geef hem een hartelijk welkom uit Duitsland, Rosie 501. Michael Rosenauer! En dan zijn tegenstander een man die überhaupt zijn debuut op de Euro-tour gaat maken. Maar hij heeft wel wat credentials meegenomen. In 2017 de BDO Gold Cup kampioen uit Engeland. Relentless Ryan Joyce! And your referee for this first match, please give a round of applause, the voice, Ross Bray.
A very good afternoon. Normal service resumed last weekend on the European Tour. Michael van Gerwen winning his 23rd Euro title and his 3rd this year, ending that mini sequence of back-to-back first-time successes for Max Hopp and Johnny Clayton. This weekend we're in Holland for the Dutch Darts Masters, and PDC Europe have set up camp for the first time here in the city of Zwolle. Very good afternoon to you. Rob Malarkey in the chair for the opening match of the day. Chris Murphy alongside me. Chris van Gerwen said last weekend that Sindelfingen was his best ever tournament. He loves it here as well in Holland. 4-time back-to-back champion. And I suppose it bodes very well indeed for MVG once again, doesn't it?
Yeah, hard to disagree with Michael van Gerwen's analysis last weekend, Rob. The numbers made the point for him. 110 averages in each of the quarters, semis and final last weekend for Michael van Gerwen, and there is no doubt who the Dutch darts master is going into this tournament, although he was beaten by Gary Anderson in the Premier League in Aberdeen last night. Dan Dawson was there. He will join us in the commentary box throughout the weekend too.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First leg, Michael to throw first. Game on!
But this first match sees Ryan Joyce, a Euro Tour debutant and a man who's been enjoying a very decent season on the Pro Tour this year, taking on a German who came from the European qualifier, Michael Rosenauer.
Yeah, a player we've seen a handful of times before, although not for some time on the Euro circuit. Van Gerwen and the other 15 seeds, by the way, join us tomorrow. Today it's all about the qualifiers. Some pretty eye-catching matches to look forward to later as well. The two-time world champion Adrian Lewis up against Jan Dekker, and multiple major winner James Wade having a great Euro Tour in 2018. A finalist last weekend as well. Twice a semi-finalist also, going up against Cristo Reyes. But Rosenauer will be looking to make an impression on this, his return to the European circuit.
Yeah, he did play as a professional for a couple of years in the PDC back in the early part of this decade. He appeared in the World Championship in 2008, lost out to Mervyn King, but only in the odd set in 5. That was a tournament that John Part beat Kirk Shepherd in the final, where Michael van Gerwen and Phil Taylor met in round 1. 10 years ago now. But German darts is in a very different place. In 2018, we've seen Max Hopp pick up a European Tour title this year, the first German player ever to win a PDC title.
100.
And I'm sure that the fellow stars of the sport from that part of the world will be looking to draw on the inspiration created by Hopp. Of course, Hopp and Schindler will be partnering each other at the upcoming World Cup of Darts in Frankfurt. Can't go out now.
57.
So a chance for the German player to hang on to his throw in leg 1. Down for double 10.
Game shot.
And nails it to take the first leg.
Rosenauer.
Yeah, Rob, some
Second
story
leg,
going on in
Ryan
German
first.
darts right now,
Game
isn't
on.
there? And I'm sure Michael Rosenauer at the age of 51 will look at that and think, actually, I'm not quite finished yet. I want a piece of the pie.
Well, just looking at his results last night in qualifying, looking at his results in qualifying for this, qualifying took place a week ago in Sindelfingen for this tournament as well. He lost 2 legs over the course of the first 3 qualifiers that he played. They were both against Dominic Thiel, another German, but the eye-catching performance was a 6-5 win against Dimitri Vandenberg in the 4th and final round.
99.
A player we last saw on the European Tour at the European Open in Dusseldorf 3 years ago. He lost 6-5 to Jamie Lewis that day in the first round.
First one of the weekend. Ryan Joyce, though, is a man who's certainly been producing very good stuff on the Players' Championship circuit in particular. He didn't manage to make it to the UK Open, only entered 3 of the qualifying events, having come through Q-School at the start of the year. He'd spent 5 years in the BDO system before then, but in the Players' Championship events, the first 9 events, he cashed in every single one of them. It was only event 10 where he failed to win his first round match, and that was when he was beaten by Rob Cross, the world champion, who he had incidentally beaten the previous day. Now then, treble 20. So yeah, he's not a player to be taken lightly, 45. Even though he's a debutant on the European Tour circuit.
Require 139. $59. Michael, you require 76.
So a second bite at the cherry here for Rosenauer. Tops them for a 2-0 lead here.
Game shot.
And that's very nicely done as well.
Michael Rosenauer.
Carrying on where he left off last weekend in qualifying. He's got that momentum behind him. It was some time ago that Ryan Joyce qualified for this, although, again, he didn't lose too many legs in his qualifying programme. Just 4 in total. John Bowles 6-1, Mark Wilson 6-1, and Robbie Green 6-2 in his 3 matches. 68th on the Pro Tour Order of Merits is Ryan Joyce.
99.
Yeah, those runs that I mentioned on the Players' Championship circuit, that included a semi-final and a quarter-final placing in the first 2 PC events of the year, back-to-back deep runs into those tournaments, and they are not easy to progress to the latter stages.
140.
He's got wins in 2018 against, I mentioned Rob Cross, also Darren Webster, Jelle Klaassen, Steve West. He's beat Vincent van der Voort twice and Robert Thornton.
140.
But he's
95.
standing at the,
Michael,
well, at least at the bottom of the hill so far in this match.
Yeah. Well placed to hold his throw once again here. Look at this.
Yeah, it's in treble 13 he's found.
89.
Couldn't complete the combination, but Joyce would need a whopper.
167. $99.
Needed a whopper, couldn't even find a cheeseburger there, could he, Chris? 32 then for Rosenauer. Almost there.
No score.
Just a little bit of a let off here for Ryan Joyce. Ryan Joyce, it could be his route back into this match, and he needs one. Stays there for double 16.
52.
And he was some way inside as well.
Michael, you require 32.
Three missed attempts last time.
Game shot in the third
Takes
leg.
it with his 5th attempt. And on he goes. 3-0 to the good. And this one is slipping through the fingers of Ryan Joyce. He can't afford a break of throw here.
Yeah, almost playing like a kind of silent assassin so far, the German. But here comes Joyce. That's more like it.
Yeah, If anything, it's Rosenauer who's been relentless so far, not the man from Newcastle.
100. One. 100.
Well, both players trading tons here, chipping away and making progress towards the finishing line, but who will blink first is the question in this rather important fourth leg for Ryan Joyce.
105.
Well, it's his best leg by some distance, down to a reasonable finish after 9 darts thrown.
100.
It might have just taken him a few legs to acclimatise to the stage, but having seen the kind of stuff we've seen on the Pro Tour from Ryan Joyce, there's no reason that he can't find a way back into this.
97.
Doesn't give too much away, Rosenauer, does he, with his body language or his face? He's very...
Yeah, poker player style, isn't it?
Well, there's just almost no response at all. Whatever he does...
Fourth leg, Ryan Joyce. Fifth leg, Michael to throw first. Game on.
Well, Joyce needed that, certainly couldn't afford any further slip-ups here.
Yep, that is true.
41.
Now, the lineup for the afternoon session includes the following match between Tony Alcinas and another German player, Dragutin Horvat, and it's worth highlighting the point that many people have said over the few years that we've had the bulk of European tours in Germany, that Germans get an easy ride, they get more places in the tournaments. Well, these players have come through the European qualifiers, and, you know, I think 4 of them came through.
Yeah, and the same was the case in Graz as well,
Yeah.
for the last tournament that I covered. There was a healthy representation from Germany, even though it was a European qualifier. They are still coming through anyway, so it does make that argument rather null and void now anyway.
Kevin Munch and Tobias Müller, the other couple of players from Germany in the tournament.
Yeah, Kevin Munch we saw against Alcinas at the World Championship in December at Ali Pali. You mentioned Rosenauer, 51 years old, by the way. He was born during the 1966 World Cup, Chris. He was born, in fact, the day after West Germany beat Switzerland 5-0 at Hillsborough. And a 20-year-old Franz Beckenbauer scored 2 that day in his first ever World Cup match. Shame it didn't happen on his birthday, I admit, but I just thought it was worth getting out there.
Day before or the day after, did you say?
It was the day before his birthday. He was born the day after.
At least he was around to see it, Rob.
First thing he asked,
57.
how did West Germany get on?
Well, around 5 minutes ago, he would have been thinking it's all over. But Ryan Joyce has clawed a leg back, and that was an important treble.
151.
151, not going to go, so a chance to clean up 108.
$119. Michael will require 108.
And Joyce is poised if he can't do it.
Yeah, certainly in position if he doesn't, and he won't.
56. Line required.
Big shout for Ryan Joyce in the crowd there. He's brought 1 or 2 fans with him from northeast England. Needs to take these sorts of opportunities, and he's opened the door for Rosenauer once again here.
Yeah, never looked likely, did he, with those 3 darts? And Rosenauer now looking to pounce and restore a 3-leg cushion.
Game shown,
And that's exactly what he's done.
Michael Rosenauer.
Playing well,
6 leg,
just doing more than enough here against Ryan Joyce, and this one is certainly going the way of the German, very much so. Played in the first ever Euro Tour event, actually, Rosenauer in Austria in 2012, when Justin Tite was the champion. Lost to Richie Burnett 6-4 in the opening round of that one. That was when we had 64 players in the first round as well, so it was a bigger field.
45.
Yeah, this is one of the events that has existed since that 2012 European Tour inaugural season, and there have only been 3 winners.
One round.
Simon Whitlock taking the first in Newland Then Kim Huybrechts in Veldhoven before Michael van Gerwen won 4 titles on the trot.
57.
Across 3 different locations, looking to make it 5 on the spin here this weekend. We've had a few different names in the finals. Pipe,
57.
one of them, beaten 6-0 by MVG in 2015. Darrell Gurney, Steve Beaton, Mervyn King, Brendan Dolan and Paul Nicholson back in 2012, who is not here this weekend. He's enjoying some kind of birthday celebrations. We wish him all the best.
And as Dan Dawson pointed out to me earlier on, it's a tournament that's always been won by a man from outside the UK against a man from the UK. We'll class Nicholson in that bracket just for argument's sake. Flies under the flag of another, but we shall assume he's very much of a Geordie persuasion.
As is Ryan Joyce.
123.
Yeah, just took a moment for Russ just to double check that one, but
yeah, I think Ryan Joyce checked his hands there. I think he was aiming for the 10 with the final dart.
125.
But they're all the same size.
36.
Nudge to the wire. That's some way inside. Double 9 then instead now.
18.
And once again, Rosenauer's got the chance here.
Michael will require.
I just wonder if he planted the seed of doubt in his own head by trying to leave double 16 and leaving a different double. Double 13 for the German.
And
he finds it, and his finishing has been very, very clinical in this match.
7th leg, Michael to throw first.
That takes him to 5 hits out of 11 attempts.
As opposed to 1 from 10 for Ryan Joyce. I mean, when he has got himself into the frame, he's not been able to come up with the goods, and that's been his ultimately one of his downfalls today.
Hasn't been able to replicate that floor form. But I guess the only way you become experienced on the stage is by playing on it. He did appear in all 3 of the BDO's big major tournaments in his time there, the World Masters, the World Trophy and the World Championship.
133.
And this year as well, just going back to the fact that we've had only 3 winners of this tournament, we've got another item on the agenda in Holland this year, the Dutch Darts Championship in September in Maastricht, the first edition of that. So we will be back in Holland later this year.
The winner of this, by the way, goes on to face one of those aforementioned finalists, Mervyn King,
170.
tomorrow. Mervyn, who joined us in commentary for a stint last Sunday afternoon.
77.
Yeah, so I heard, not for the first time as well. Had a crack at it in Maastricht last year as well, and 1 or 2 other places.
Yeah, I wonder how he is, because he'd been struggling with an abscess that had made his left cheek swell up to kind of hamster proportions.
Game shot in the 7th leg. Ryan Joyce.
Now, don't be too alarmed over the course of the next leg and a half or a couple of legs. If you hear some background noise, we are just having 1 or 2 running repairs going on to the commentary area. 1 or 2 minor amendments being made, so if you hear the sound of hammering or drilling, then it's not Chris doing his DIY, it's the PDC team just making life a little bit better for us here in the commentary area.
Yeah, we assure you it's for the greater good. You might have a little bit of background noise in one match, but it'll be perfect for the rest of the weekend, except when Dan Dawson's in the commentary box. So what jumps off the page for you then today, Rob?
Well, I mentioned the 2 at the very start. Wade against Reyes, I think, in particular, is well, just the way Wade has played, not just on the European Tour this year, but the way he's been playing full stop. I think it's a really good response to the disappointment he's had, you know, missing out on the Premier League, losing early on in the World Championship, etc. And I think he's just gone about his business very effectively. And it's really good to see. Wade against Reyes is the standout. Always good to see Adrian Lewis as well, a two-time world champion. But Terry Jenkins, good to see him back as well. You know, never quite sure whether Terry's retired or not. And yeah, he'll be back later on against Mike De Decker, so we'll see how he fares. And yeah, a few debutants as well to keep an eye on. Adam Hookvale seems a very promising young player. Challenge Tour winner recently as well. Last week opens his Euro campaign against Jermaine Watimena, so he could have had an easier one.
Yeah, it's a strange one, is it, to play a home nation qualifier, because the Dutch players traditionally are very high up the order of merit. He's got 6 starts if he needs them, but he might not.
Ooh. 140. Well, that would have been a real shot in the arm for him, but he will get another opportunity at double 12 anyway for a hold of throw for a 5-3 deficit.
83.
Rosenauer just needs to stay focused here, and he may already be thinking about the next leg anyway.
Well, let's hope he's not already thinking about the next match, because he's got this one to deal with first. Yeah, for me, a couple of matches this afternoon really stand out. Wayne Jones against Jamie Lewis. Lewis, who reached the quarter-finals last weekend. And I really like the look of Steve Lennon against Roby John Rodriguez. Two emerging talents.
Well, Ryan Joyce out-averaging Rosenauer at the moment, but that's purely down to the fact that he's not really had as many goes at doubles, I think, as well. You won't be too concerned about that, Michael Rosenauer. Given the state of play on the scoreboard there, you see that perfectly illustrated for you.
Yeah, the stat that matters is the fact that Rosenauer is going out nearly half the time, and Ryan Joyce not even a quarter.
And even the first 9 average was a lot healthier as well, but he's not really building on his promising starts in legs. He's had far too many visits without a treble.
90.
There was one. And that gets Rosenauer down to a finish of 149 on his throw. Ryan Joyce needs to keep the pressure on here. Can't afford to let too much daylight open up, and he's putting the pressure on here so far. And that is exactly what he needed to do. What a response, what a timely response as well by Ryan Joyce. Real pressure now on Rosenauer. And that makes life very, very difficult indeed.
43.
Joyce then with a gilt-edged opportunity here to secure the break. And he's got 2 bites at double 16. And once again, the finishing lets him down.
Yeah,
3 from 16.
Forgiven now for fearing the worst, because where Rosenauer's been finishing, if he gets a dart, you'd fancy him. But he hasn't, and the opportunity knocks again for Ryan Joyce.
That was a fairly careless last dart as well, which might come back to haunt him. We'll find out in due course. He still can't take out this double 16, but he does with the second dart. Ryan Joyce gets the break, and he's back in business. Still has work to do, but he needed to win 3 on the spin. He's won 1. And he's just got a little bit of belief here now.
Yep. Michael Rosenauer in a very, very comfortable position in this match. It's getting less so with every leg, and it just does get the feeling that Ryan Joyce has taken to the stage a little bit more. Having broken, he can't just assume that he's going to hang on to his throw and force a decider, because his opponent has just fired him with a max. 4th of this contest.
Yeah, just a little reminder from Rosenauer. Well, 4 perfect darts from 6 so far for Rosenauer, and he's in good shape here.
We had another 9-dart attempt missed in your absence last weekend. Rob Cross for the 2nd time out of 3 European tournaments.
86.
Dimitri Vandenberg, and he even went double 18 and still managed to miss.
57.
Sometime in the year 2054, we might see one. I'm not saying we will, we might do.
He doesn't like the lie, but on 220, he's having to work out a way to leave a finish.
90.
Well, that'll do it.
Michael will require 164.
A 65-year-old Michael Van Gerwen will take it out, by the way.
Well, this will have to be taken out by Ryan Joyce, 130.
Oh, and the music just fired up a little bit prematurely there as well. They thought that was the winning shot from Rosenauer. My word, it's all happening today. That is not what you need. He's smiling about it, but that
might have just relaxed him.
It might have just relaxed him, yeah. Just a light-hearted moment. He's got it.
Well, he had the drum roll.
Can he find the red button here? No, he cannot.
And that could be that. Double 12. For Rosenauer to finish the job. Well, this could be tricky. Can he stick it between the posts?
Well, he did, but he was still too high, and I think the crowd played their part in that one as well. It was an anxious moment, and suddenly now, Ryan Joyce is back in the money once again here. He's now looking at double 8 to take us into a decider. And we are into a decider. He was 5-2 down, Ryan Joyce. But we do have an 11-leg bonanza to start things off on the European Tour this weekend here in Zwolle at the Dutch Darts Masters. I said Rosenauer was a man who tended not to show a great deal of emotion, but I think deep down he'll be absolutely sick as a dog about this, because he looked to be in a very, very good place. He looked totally comfortable. And then Joyce suddenly just managed to get a foothold, and look at this, Ryan Joyce. But for the final dart there.
Rosenauer has the darts, but Joyce has the momentum, Rob.
Yes, and there's another visit without a treble as well for Rosenauer. Ton 40 at least here for Joyce, and who knows, I think he'll be in pole position. Yeah, just 85 though. Nip and tuck.
Well, no treble here, and he's handed the initiative to his opponent. We said early on when he trailed 3-0 and 4-1 that he was giving himself a mountain to climb. It looks like he might be about to reach the summit.
And all of a sudden things are just beginning to unravel a little bit here for Rosenauer. Treble 1 with the first start and 43 scored. And that's, well, Joyce's eyes lighting up here, you feel. Not there yet, though. That was a loose first start. That was a little bit closer. Switches downstairs to good effect.
37.
Oh, actually, the second dart was a treble. I do beg your pardon. It was hard to tell on the screen.
Yeah, really good stuff from Ryan Joyce in this last leg decider. 58 left after a dozen darts. It's been a case of clinging on and then kicking on for Ryan Joyce. Now can he finish it off? On double top. Well, he didn't like that. But he likes that look. Ryan Joyce comes back from the dead in that match against Michael Rosenauer to claim a 6-5 win in the opening match of this afternoon session at the Dutch Darts Masters. We'll catch a word with him, talking to our man Dan Dawson in a moment, and then we're back with Tony Altinat against Dragutin Horvat.
Ryan, congratulations, a Euro Tour debut. Doesn't get much more dramatic than that.
Yeah, I was very poor at the start on the doubles, but I think I was lucky that my opponent dropped off a little bit towards the end, and I managed to scrape over the line.
There's a fair few here. You're through till tomorrow now. This is going to be rammed. Is this going to be anything like anything you've experienced in your darting career?
No, I don't think so. I'm really looking forward to that. I think it'll be fantastic atmosphere.
You've been playing on the BDO circuit. What is it that made you make the switch at the start this year? Because you've been playing some good darts and had some success. Is it the money? Is it playing in arenas like this? What is it?
Well, I got a very good sponsor that backed us and gave us the money to come and do it. Otherwise, I would not be able to afford to do the PDC tour. So I'm very grateful to him for that. And I've never looked back since then. I've been doing really well.
Yeah, well, it's another opportunity tomorrow. Congratulations. Ryan Joyce safely through to the second round. The action continues here with Tony Alcinas of Spain versus Germany's Dragutin Horvat.